He likes to go to the same combinations, quite repetitively, whereas Crawford is unpredictable. And despite him not having the size, it's the shots that you don't see that hurt the most.
Just lets me know right there that I'm a threat to him. I'm a threat to him. I'm a threat to his legacy.
And that's just being honest. And I think what he has done in his career, he's proven everything.
After agreeing to fight, Terence Crawford gave Canelo Alvarez a strong warning, emphasizing that he was about to change the boxing world. "I am a danger to him and his work," Crawford boldly stated. "I'm already a dominant force in multiple weight classes." Crawford believes that his speed and ring knowledge will expose Canelo. He is not only here to fight, but also to
excuses why he don't want to take a fight with me. If it's all about business, then you doing good business. If I'm easy work, I heard him say I'm easy work. If I was easy work, you would take all that money that he's offering you. But yet and still, he want 200 million for Benavidez, and he want 150 million to fight me. So that just lets me know right there that I'm a threat to him. I'm a threat to him. I'm a threat to his legacy, because it would be crazy for a guy that started at 135 to come all the way up to 168, your weight, no catch weight, no none of that, and dethrone you. So, he got that in the back of his head. This guy, for one, he's tough. For two, he's a boxer. He moves, he can punch, he can do it all. I can't slip up and lose to this little guy. Then what will my fans think of me? What will my Mexican people think?
Now that the match is official, experts are looking forward to an exciting clash of styles. Canelo Alvarez is a tough opponent because he throws strong, repetitive combinations and is also very good at counterpunching. Terence Crawford, known for his unpredictability and sharp timing, may create openings if he times Canelo correctly. Nonetheless, Crawford must show his power to earn Canelo's respect. Otherwise, the fight could be difficult. Canelo has an edge because he is stronger and has fought in higher weight classes before, but Crawford's technical skill and ability to adapt could help him beat his opponent.
I think Canelo, he likes to go to the same combinations, quite repetitively, whereas Crawford is unpredictable. And despite him not having the size, it's the shots that you don't see that hurt the most. And maybe Crawford can hit him with some unexpected shit. And because of the repetitiveness of Canelo, maybe he can time him. Maybe he can counterpunch with him, because Crawford is unbelievable at that. But I'm fascinated to see if Crawford has the power to get the respect of Canelo Alvarez, because when you don't, it's a long night. It's not nice. Like Crawford did well against Madrimov, and he won that fight for me quite clearly. But Madrimov was countering him. If you can counter the counter puncher, you can give them a lot of problems when they're not used to that. And Canelo can counter people really well. And as great as Terence Crawford is, we've never seen him in there with someone with the power of Canelo Alvarez. This is a different world of power. And look, maybe Canelo doesn't throw as many shots as he used to, and maybe Crawford might look at that and go, you know what, I'm going to try and outpoint this guy, not get into a war with him, but just show my boxing, genius, and outpoint him and outland him. That's possible. It is. This is why this is such a fascinating matchup, man. We've been treated to some amazing fights. Usyk Fury, for example, this is another one of those mega fights on Riyadh Caesar.
Eddie Hearn says that Canelo Alvarez has already established himself in boxing and does not need to justify a fight against Jake Paul. He notes that Canelo is now more of a businessman entering the battle for an enormous payday, potentially $100 million or more, rather.
And that's just being honest. And I think what he has done in his career, he's proven everything, right? His resume is unbelievable. And if you want to make $100 million to fight Jake Paul, right? But the thing is about Canelo, he don't tell any lies. He's very transparent, right? He's not going to try and justify this fight to you that, no, what I'm doing is I'm doing it to bring boxing to a wider audience. No, he's doing it for a sackload of money. So whenever you opponent forward to Canelo Alvarez, his question is, how much? And he's a businessman at this stage in his career, right? And at the end of the day, someone is offering him whatever it will be, 80 million, 100 million, 120, to fight Jake Paul. A fight in which there is absolutely no risk. Like, and by the way, you can't criticise Jake Paul, because the criticism for Jake Paul has always been, when are you going to fight someone decent? Well, guess what? You might be fighting Canelo Alvarez. I don't hate it. I'll be watching.
Didn't have to give up the belts though. That's the fight to take.
Yeah, maybe. Might be his last fight.
Hearn defends Jake Paul, stating he has been criticized for not facing elite opponents, but he may now face Canelo. However, Hearn thinks Jake has no real chance, describing Canelo as a deadly boxer.
In boxing, no one's surprised that a fight like that's getting made. And I know you've gone out and said you do respect Jake Paul for getting in there. Canelo's a totally different beast to, you know, a definitely out of his prime Mike Tyson. Just talk about how much respect you would have for Jake for taking that fight.
Only respect because of the money. I mean, he's not doing it for free. He's not doing it because he wants to prove himself as a great fighter. He's doing it for 100 mil as well, or whatever he's getting.
It's a very, very scary man.
It's dangerous, and he's going to get spanked.
How many rounds?
However many Canelo wants it to be. I mean, the only thing is, Jake's going to be a lot heavier and bigger. But you're not, listen, no disrespect to Jake's ability as a fighter. He's fighting Canelo Alvarez, who is one of the top fighters in the world. So, like, he's going to get spanked, but he's going to make a lot of money whilst receiving the spanking.
Just one day ago, famous boxing promoter Eddie Hearn stated that a match between Jake Paul and Canelo Alvarez was being seriously considered. Hearn made it plain that Canelo is always willing to fight if the right financial offer is made, saying, "Give Canelo the money, and he will fight anyone, regardless of whether it is Turki Al-Ashik or anyone offering the fight." This quote makes it clear that Canelo was willing to face Jake Paul if the business side of things made sense. Money has always been a motivating factor in boxing, and Canelo, like any other elite boxer, is ready.
Nothing really. I mean, it was all very sudden, wasn't it? Is it in relation to the Jake Paul fight? I don't know. I mean, look, Canelo, I say all that. Canelo don't care, right? Give him the money, and he's going to fight. He doesn't really have, and this isn't a negative towards him, because he makes it clear. He has no loyalty to anyone, right? None to me, none to PBC, none to Turki Al-Ashik. Pay me the money, I will fight whoever you want me to fight. That's basically it. So, I guess the talk was a Crawford fight. Now it looks like the Jake Paul fight is done, by all accounts. So, does that make the Crawford fight less appealing? Because he's kind of moving into that world now. And I don't blame him, because he's going to make an absolute fortune to punch Jake Paul. And I don't mind the fight, I've got to be honest with you. Like, I've given Jake stick over the years because he's done some things that I didn't like, and I'm just being honest. But you have to respect him for taking the Canelo fight. He's doing that because there's a huge amount of money on the table, but I don't mind seeing it. So yeah, I don't know I've no idea whether it's in relation to that or whatever. I've not had one conversation about it, but certainly, you know, Canelo moving into that world, if you like, changes things perhaps in terms of...
Canelo Alvarez was initially considering a fight against Jake Paul in May, as well as a possible fight with Terence Crawford. However, Turki Al-Ashik, chairman of Saudi Arabia's General Entertainment Authority, was allegedly unhappy with the idea of Canelo facing Paul. As a result, the Canelo versus Jake Paul fight was canceled, and Canelo is now set to face...
We know decided to pull the plug on the Canelo-Terence Crawford fight September 13th at Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas Raiders Stadium in Las Vegas, due to the fact that Canelo Alvarez was trying to do a side deal outside of his 3-fight deal with Turki Al-Ashik in Riyadh season to fight YouTube sensation turned professional boxer Jake Paul May 3rd. Turki Al-Ashik wasn't happy with it. And so with that said, instead of getting the 2 Hall of Fame iconic fighters, first ballot Hall of Famers, in Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez in September, Turki Al-Ashik decided, I'll find a new super fight for Terence Crawford and we'll take the deal off the table for Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez then decides, nope, he and his team pick up the phone. They have a conversation with Turki Al-Ashik, and Turki Al-Ashik and Canelo come to a 4-fight deal that's going to cancel the Jake Paul fight May 3rd, Las Vegas at the T-Mobile, and is now going to see Canelo Alvarez possibly face William Skull, the IBF undefeated Puerto Rican champion at 168, May in Riyadh.
Boxing trainer Greg Hackett commented on the possible clash between Jake Paul and Canelo Alvarez. He stated that the scheduled bout was not a rumor and that Canelo is unable to fight Crawford. Hackett's views offer insight into the difficulties and discussion.
All right, so news got leaked that Canelo Alvarez and Jake Paul in May.
What?
So you got people that think it's a rumor. I can confirm that it's not a rumor. This is something that we've known for I'm going to say we've known for about 3 to 4 weeks.
That's not going to be a real fight, though. So that means Bud ain't happening.
No. They talking about Bud in September. Canelo, Jake Paul in that.
If he fight Jake Paul, he ain't going to fight Bud. Because I'm going to tell you why. He got to go up for Jake Paul. He got to go up for Jake Paul. Jake Paul not coming under 200 pounds. You understand? Canelo going to do the same thing Roy did to his body. Going to go up and bring it back down, 68? Fuck no.
Jake Paul turned to Twitter to express his displeasure with Canelo Alvarez's decision to pull out of the upcoming fight. He tweeted, "Breaking news. Canelo Alvarez ducked me. Jake Paul is now an owned slave with little respect for the pride of the Mexicans who support him on American land. It's not unexpected, given that he has done little to support boxing outside of the ring throughout his career. I am the new face of fighting. You can't have the biggest fight in 2025 without my name involved. When all of your events fail and lose money, everyone will know who the sports monarch is. 28 years old, the biggest fight in boxing history. My own boss has not been owned for the past 5 years. You haters want me to fail, but God has different plans. This is the era of good, often known as the elephant era. Following the cancellation of the fight with Jake Paul, MVP rules supreme. Canelo Alvarez has agreed to a 4-fight deal with Turki Al-Sheikh. This relationship marks a dramatic shift in Canelo's career trajectory, connecting him with new promotional partners and providing opportunities for high.
All right, let's do this. Canelo versus Crawford, confirmed. Not a rumor, not speculation, not he said, she said, or someone leaking the story, confirmed. And I guess the confirmation doesn't get much more rock solid than the Ring Magazine putting this story out first. Ring Magazine, obviously owned by Turkey. Turkey would have been the one to put this deal together, and Turkey would have had to give the green light for the Ring Magazine to even put that story out. That's as confirmation as you need it. That's it. The fight will happen in September. Touch wood, no injuries. Wow. Easily the biggest fight of 2025. I said a few days ago, Benavidez-Morale was my most intriguing fight of 2025. Obviously, that's now been put down to second place because this has been announced. Nothing can be announced to top.
According to Showbiz The Adult, the talks surrounding Canelo Alvarez's next fight have sparked widespread interest. However, Jake Paul's participation looks to alter the focus, with sources indicating that a bout between him and Canelo has been canceled. Eddie Hearn has not ruled out Canelo versus Crawford, but current excitement in Jake Paul's promotional efforts clearly suggest that his fight with Canelo is set. If finalized, this bout might draw a lot of interest since Paul says it will be a historic event, much bigger than...
You said that you'd like to go up against Canelo Alvarez. What gives you the right to call out a 59-2 boxer, one of the greatest of all time, when you've not yet proven yourself?
I'm predicting what's going to happen 3 more years from now.
So I'm
going to get to his skill level and beat him. I have one of the greatest self-belief systems in the world, and I know what I'm capable of, and with this new team, I can give Canelo a serious run for his money.
Would you ever do like exhibitions like that, or like people like Jake Paul call you out, or these like other big stars? Like, is that business-wise like even worth it?
When I'm done with boxing, why not? Maybe I do it. I think it's
like when you're done like competing at the highest level, you're saying?
Yeah, I think it's good because what happened there is other people who never watch boxing, or they don't know anything about boxing, they wanna watch Jake Paul because he's coming from he bring fans from other world, right? Yeah. That's good because everybody enjoy it.
Would you ever entertain that idea when you're done?
Maybe.
Turkey Alalshik shared a video message on Canelo Alvarez's 4-fight deal during the Riyadh season YouTube. He encouraged fans not to miss this progress and emphasized the positive effect of these events on the sport of boxing. Alashik's presence adds a fresh dimension to boxing promotion, especially in the Middle East. If Canelo goes 154 and wins 3 belts, that is 3 times super middleweight. Then I added, chase super greatness. Come on, Canelo, 160. Well, if he can get in there with Jermell Charlo and win his next 2 fights while still having age on his side, he could be able to go up again as if he is attempting to achieve grandeur. But he has already achieved something unprecedented. Charlo doesn't want any of that. Terence Crawford, I see he wants to fight. He has made that clear. Do fights like that assist your reputation? Or do you think they're not worth it? Everything I do for my job, every conflict I have, makes my memory unique and greater. Terence Crawford is a fantastic fighter, but as I previously stated, he is not taking lessons for a reason. I'm totally concentrated on BMA, and you never know what happens. Meanwhile, boxing icon Roy Jones Jr. revealed his view on Canelo Alvarez's forthcoming fight with Terence Crawford. He thinks that if Canelo executes his approach properly, he will win. However, if he fails, Crawford may take the victory. Jones's view emphasizes the high stakes and evenly balanced aspect of the
Just a few weeks ago, you heard what Terence Bud Crawford had to say on why he wants to take on Saul Canelo Alvarez.
I just want the opportunity, to fight the best fighter in my generation that's out there. He's the most accomplished fighter, and I would just like to, fight another great.
Which is a very noble reason. I mean, it's a reason that I can get behind. If you notice, his primary reason isn't money. He did say it'll be the biggest fight, which, you do want a big fight, but I don't think he meant monetarily, which the money comes, okay? But what he's saying is he want to test himself versus the best. And I think he's telling the truth here, right? Of course you want big money and stuff like that, but I think his swan song is just him testing himself up against the very best. Those are the reasons.
Are you tired of people asking you about Terence yet?
No, look, I always say, I respect Terence Crawford. He's a very talented fighter, but he just win one big fight. If you see his record, he just beat one good fighter like Errol Spence is. Yeah. But other than that, I don't think he's beating other great fighter like Spence. He did a really good job with Spence. He did almost look very easy. But I knew Terence Crawford is a great fighter.
That's crazy. Why would he bud? Looking to try to make history and get his big bank and get out his big bank? Who is Canelo? He's willing to take that gamble, see if he can beat him. If he beats him, he may go fight this person. If he doesn't beat him, he'll say, okay, I'll take it as high as I could go. I'm done. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy if he gets the win oh my God. That's all for today's show. Stay tuned until next time.
Influencer versus pound for pound great being the hang up in the fight, being the one that stops the momentum. Because it's not happening. There is no world.
Okay, then let me ask you this.
May I be struck by lightning right now if this is possible.
Wow,
a lightning bed.
If this happens,
Right.
if this happens.
There's just no way. There is no way.
Wait. If what happens? If the fight happens or if the upset of the century happens?
If Jake Paul derails Terence Crawford versus Canelo by
All credit to
beating
him.
Canelo,
then you book
there's
Jake
no
Paul
chance.
versus Terence Crawford.
Zero.
Okay, let me ask you this. If that fight ends up being close.
Yes.
A lot of people are going to watch that fight, right? A lot of people.
Because I think a lot of people are going to want to see Jake Paul lose, and
100%. Canelo's going to do this.
Like
Canelo would do this, and we're just talking.
Let's backtrack to your first question, which is interest. I'm very interested because, as I've long said, I'm on this corner. I only care about Jake Paul in spectacles. It would be an absolute spectacle to see a pound for pound. First, he did Mike Tyson, which, and I'm not going all the way back, but I'm saying in his most recent outing, Mike Tyson, an all-time legend, a pop culture icon, versus Jake Paul is a spectacle. Now you're going the opposite direction to nearly in his prime. We'll say maybe like he's on the back nine, but he's still close to his prime. He's still a top 5 pound for pound on pretty much anybody's list fighter going against Jake Paul. I'm in for the spectacle. I'm in. I don't think Jake Paul has a chance in hell, but I'm in for the spectacle.
And how long has he been beating the drum on this? He's been saying he's going to do this forever.
Listen, let's see what happens.
Like credit to